Bondi Vet's funniest cases and dramatic rescues. The morning sun hit the Bondi Junction Clinic as Dr. Chris prepared for another unpredictable day. Being a veterinarian meant understanding every species that walked, crawled, or flew through the door. He checked the schedule with his head nurse, Callum, knowing that the quiet morning they hoped for was already a distant dream. "Ready for the chaos?" Chris asked with a grin, adjusting his stethoscope. Their first patient was Clancy, a high-energy Kelpie who lived up to his breed's reputation for being feisty. Clancy's owner was worried because, even though the dog had been recently neutered, he was still jumping over 6-foot fences. Chris laughed as the dog tried to lick his face. "It takes more than a routine surgery to slow down a Kelpie," Chris remarked, checking the dog's surgical site. Clancy wouldn't sit still for his heart rate check, so Callum stepped in with a colorful rubber chew toy. While the dog gnawed happily on the toy, Callum gave him some much-needed TLC, rubbing his ears to keep him calm. "He's got enough energy to power all of Bondi," Callum joked, noting the dog's perfect vitals on the chart. The atmosphere shifted from energetic to indignant when Barnaby, a Turkish van cat, was ushered in. Barnaby was a hefty fellow, decidedly chubby, and he was famously grumpy. He sat on the scales like a furry white king, staring at Dr. Chris with narrowed eyes as if judging his medical credentials. Barnaby's grumpiness was understandable once Chris looked in his mouth. The cat had significant dental decay and 2 loose teeth that were clearly causing him pain. Callum assisted by gently feeling Barnaby's tummy to ensure there were no other issues, while Chris explained the need for a dental procedure to the owner. After a quick sedative and a dental cleaning, Barnaby was resting in the recovery ward. Dr. Chris administered an anti-inflammatory to help with the swelling. The once mighty Turkish van now looked incredibly dopey, his tongue poking out slightly as he drifted into a nap. "He'll be much happier once he wakes up without that toothache," Chris whispered. Suddenly, the clinic's emergency phone rang. It was a call from the local rescue center. A dog in convulsion was being rushed in, but even more urgent was a report of a stray cat trapped inside a car bonnet nearby. Chris grabbed his emergency kit. "Callum, prep the oxygen for the dog. I'm heading to the street for the rescue," Chris shouted as he ran out. Down the street, Chris found a panicked driver and a car with a faint meowing coming from the engine. It was a delicate operation. Chris reached deep into the oily machinery, finally feeling soft fur. He carefully pulled out a small, soot-covered rescue cat he named Fender. The poor kitten had been terrified, but was miraculously uninjured. Back at the clinic, the emergency dog was stabilized, and a chook with a sprained wing was resting in a sling nearby. Chris checked on Fender, who was still a bit timid. As Callum cleaned the oil off the kitten's fur, Chris chatted about his morning. "This is a change of pace from 5 a.m., he said. "I was at the dairy farm helping a calf out of the womb. It's amazing how a uterus can house something so large." To finish the day's rounds, Chris performed a quick check on the calf's eye lens he had treated earlier via a photo update from the farmer. He then returned to Fender. The kitten, feeling safe at last, began to vibrate with a loud, rhythmic purr. Chris smiled, exhausted but satisfied. "Another day, another dozen species saved," he said, patting the tiny rescue cat.